there's a belief that someday, we were almost at the mountaintop, but someday we're going to get it done. Speak to that hope and that belief that Bills fans have against all odds.
Well, I mean, yeah, you do. I mean, you really believe that it's going to happen because it's almost happened here, and you feel like at one point you had a team that could have done it, and so you know it's not impossible for it to happen, and fans know what that looks like too. They feel like they know what a good football team looks like when it happens, when they see it, and they know when it's not, and they look around. They're smart. I mean, like I say, they've been watching this team for a lot of decades, and this is a town that's been in the NFL for over 50 years now. They know what it looks like, and they know it's not impossible, and they have every reason to believe, and they believe that it's going to happen for them one day, and I'm sure it will.
What I find really funny about the city of Buffalo is that in the dead of winter, people don't leave. They stay, and I'm convinced it's because of family. There's a huge bond between. I mean, my wife, her mother was one of 11 Irish Catholics from Buffalo. I mean, there's a great network of people here, and they just don't leave. And those that do, they really don't leave. And I think that's what's special about the city is that you get a bad rap in other cities around the country saying, oh, you're from Buffalo, all this snow and this, that, and the other. But until you've actually been there and experienced Buffalo, you don't know what a gem it is, and it really is. And there's just so much going on there that for us keeps us close, that's for sure.
What do you think this town, this region how will they react when the Bills win a Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know, because I know how they reacted when we almost won it, and it was, it's just, it's the thing about it is, you see these people who love the Bills so much, and unlike any other market, I think, any other place where they play football, they share it with each other. They share it. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, if you're in Buffalo, nobody knows everybody in Buffalo. And it's not that big a city, but it's still a couple of 100,000 people, and a million people in the area. So you don't know everybody, but everybody acts like they're best friends.
Having played for 3 other NFL teams, there are no fans better than the Bills fans, and I mean, there's not much more to say than that. I mean, they are the best, and I was just fortunate to be able to play back then at Rich Stadium, or the Ralph, or whatever you want to call it. I was just very fortunate to play in front of the Bills fans.
So you see a cab driver talking to a guy, and they'll start talking about Freddie and Fitz, or they'll start talking about Jim and Thurman, or Bruce and Andre, and it's just as though they're talking about family members. And it's a deep-seated relationship that is really special, and there's no question that if that team does ever win the Super Bowl, well, whoever those guys are that are going to win it, they'll be crazy to move away after they're finished playing.
You've chosen to stay in the Western New York region.
Sure.
Correct? Why do you stay?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, we've been really happy there. When we moved here, I got picked up off waivers by Marv Levy. I was Marv's first player off the waiver wire. I was the first new player that he signed when he got the job. His first game as head coach was my first game, and I came here as a newlywed with my wife. And during the time that I played, we had 5 kids. So first of all, my kids are all from Buffalo, so they don't want to leave. Secondly, we've been really happy here. We love the area, we love the people, the region is awesome. Obviously, it's great being a former Buffalo Bill living there. People still remember. I mean, still come up to me and talk to me like I'm part of the family, and it's really nice.
I don't know what the rest of the world would do. If the Bills won something, or if the Sabres won the Stanley Cup, I mean, it's like finally they get what they really deserved. I mean, it's been so close, and a number of close calls. I think it would be fantastic, and I think for all the close calls that Buffalo's had to deal with and had to experience, I think a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup would be phenomenal, and what a great lift for Buffalo.
Well, you look up in the stands. I don't know if it's like this in other states. I don't think it is. People stand up and cheer their team. It's awesome. They love their team every place. But in Buffalo, there were moments in that when like when we scored 3 touchdowns against Denver in 77 seconds, and you look up in the stands, and people weren't just cheering. They were happy. It wasn't like they were just cheering their team. They were hugging each other and jumping up and down. It was as though they'd been given a huge gift. People just loved being at that stadium with that team playing well on whatever day, whatever happens. When something crazy happens like it does in that stadium, it's like one big family in that stadium because it's such a small community that when something crazy like that happens, they cheer like nobody else. And I'm not saying they cheer louder or something, but it's different.